and they say New York is more dangerous sometimes, right?
So what you're saying, Teague, is in effect that psychotic killers actually live all in Florida. They don't live anywhere near New York, then.
Well, he was shot in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, Pennsylvania. Right.
Yeah, it's what was that town? Started with a B. Butler,
Pennsylvania.
Germ, get your yes, he does have a butler, but I don't know his name. I thought it was Rochester, but no, he was shot in the ear. Germ, you think you know it all? Pennsylvania. His Pennsylvania was fine. I think it was removed when he was a kid. It might have been ruptured, so he doesn't have a Pennsylvania, and he was shot in the ear.
That's okay. Not everyone has a Pennsylvania.
I don't get it.
It's a joke about the human.
We'll explain we'll explain anatomy to you later.
It's the best. It's the best kind of joke. The kind that needs to be explained.
Yeah, and hey there, hey there, Chief Judge Finity.
Oh, you mean the man from New Zealand? Woo!
Yeah.
Hello, Suzanne Extinct.
Yeah, and welcome, Suzanne.
I do have a question for you. Hey, tell me, what is another name for California?
Wow.
California.
California.
Mexifornia?
No, it's California. California.
Calexico?
No, I was doing a pun on my state's name. California.
Yeah, I was doing a pun on your state's name in Mexico and called it Calexico.
Super California.
Even Chief says he's an 8 from New Zealand. Okay. What does that really mean? An 8.
He ain't.
He ate from
New Zealand.
He ate. Okay.
Well, I gotta say, I do have a nickname for Resolute Germs state. And it's called Washington State. Well, it's just they wash a ton of stuff down the drain.
Yep.
Including money.
We learned by copying California. The city of Seattle does everything it can to copy San Francisco. And where Seattle goes, the rest of this state goes.
No, if Gorilla's correct, he said you call it San Francisco. That was his new name for my old city.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, apparently Chief Judge Finity is not from New Zealand.
No, he says I is not from. So I think he was just correcting himself. Some kind of grammatical error.
Yeah.
He's a grammatical error, but that's okay.
Imagine that.
And hello, Suzanne.
Yes, good to see you, Suzanne XD.
Yeah. So,
right, well,
hey, Jared, can I show LDG that thing I made for him real quick?
Go for it.
LDG, you listening? I made something special for you.
Oh, did you now?
Yes. I think you'll like it.
It's gonna make
LDG locked in a battle for the net, standing tall against the crushing strain. With Jeff Prometheus, freeing voices set, defying shadows cast by Control's chain. CIA's eyes on him from every screen, they'll keep him in the sight, and that's for breaking the chain. Freedom's fight, LDG won't bow. Censorship's news, but he shouts out loud. Prometheus' flame burns bright somehow. In the face of the storm, he won't go down. Encrypted messages, a game of cat and mouse, hidden underground, hiding from the gaze. Every keystroke a defiant shout. In the cyber war he wrestles with the days. Surrounded by spoofs from the CIA, but his spirit never breaks, he finds his way. Freedom's fight, LDG won't bow. Censorship's news, but he shouts out loud. Prometheus' flame burns bright somehow. In the face of the storm, he won't go down. there fighting for free, fight for truth in a world of lies. One man stand, a revolution seed against the shadows he defies. Freedom's fight, LTG won't bow. Censorship's new spuddy shouts out loud. Prometheus' flame burns bright somehow. In the face of the storm, he won't go down.
There you go, LDG.
Wow.
There you go, LDG. How'd you like that?
That's my favorite Dan Vask song ever.
As much as that made somewhat sense, I'll give you some credit. I mean, thank you. I mean,
that sounded great.
I'll tell you what. I'll take my foot 1 inch out of your ass. You get 1 inch. Okay, my foot's still squirrely up your ass, but I just pulled it out 1 inch just to give you a little bit of. Thank you.
What is it? A breech birth?
Oh, that's
Slightly
funny.
touching. No, you don't understand the Indian bullshit that you pulled on me that night. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't make up for that, but it does a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you expect from a computer, ambassadorial wing?
Would you rather have me sing it? I know I got a shitty voice.
No, I know how the AI song goes, and I think the AI, like when you told it, you must have said, you must have told it, give me a song about it, some guy trying to, free speech and free the net. So it kind of had a hard time because nobody's trying to do that, and AI only knows things about what people are actually trying to do. But
it can only explain things that you're able to explain to us.
Yeah.
Well,
I did notice it mentioned the underground. I give you credit for that. It mentioned the underground. It mentioned Prometheus.
The first chatbot we programmed said it just started screaming, "Help me, Landrew! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me!" And then it was a loud bang at the other side of the connection. We had to go to another chatbot.
I do have a question here. Well, if Gorilla is a bad singer, does that make me a worse singer? Since I think I have a bad singing voice.
Everybody thinks they have a bad singing voice. It's just some people don't care.
Oh no. You take that back. I've been polishing and honing my voice for 28 years. I'm proud to say I'm a damn good singer. Maybe not as good as most of the people above me. There are celebrities that get paid for doing their autotune schlock, but I can tell you I can actually sing. So
yeah.
Oh, Mikey, please sing us a song.
Go to my website and check out any. Go to my website and check out any one of the songs that I sang.
Sing us a song of love.
We will be saving the singing for Jedi or Outlaw Bill. Yeah, Outlaw Bill. If you want karaoke, go to Outlaw Bill. He's the king of karaoke.
That was reminiscent of.
He's saying Rap God.
You're doing a really good job of filling every second with your voice.
I don't know. I'm just saying that Outlaw Bill is a pretty decent singer. And of course, I can't really judge that even further because I've never seen him in an actual karaoke bar singing. So,
all right.
I need to see him in a karaoke bar setting for that. So.
No, but joking aside, thank you, Gorilla. Like that's somewhat. You're actually somewhat touching, man. I appreciate the love and in a world where I have to try to free the net, and most of us don't even really want it. It's good. Thank you. That it was touching. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I have found a problem with that site though. Every genre, they take one example for. You use what alt rock for that?
That one there was it was rock and where is it? Rock and alternative rock.
Alternative, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
And
they based all the songs off of Green Day. For alt rock.
That totally sounded Green Day. Yeah,
they do the same thing. If you do the heavy metal, you all sound like a mix of Death Leopard and Slayer.
Is it me or yeah? They don't know exactly. They throw two kinds of heavy metal together, like it matches. Is that? Did you use that for a song that you had for a while, Germ?
No, I just got Gorilla showed me the site maybe 3 days ago.
Oh, okay. We'll be the guys. Admiral Teague song sounding almost exactly like that last one. Coming soon.
I think the closest free speech song that I ever heard was like if I were to like pay somebody was like Eminem. I'm not afraid. Like that is like my Prometheus song right there. Like what he says in that song, like so fits free speech.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Yeah. Hey, Germ, I got a question for you real quick.
Greatest free speech song ever is Yankee Doodle, and we're not paying taxes on our goddamn tea, but that's me.
Yeah. Hey, Germ, do you want to do Border Town tonight, or should we do Mystery Movie Night?
Up to you. But you got a message, Gorilla.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, Suzanne addresses it to you.
Gorilla, what a day. Some wonderful person sent the package anonymously with the brand new runners for my boys. Expensive ones, no return address. They are 2 sizes too small. They are sizes 15. He needs 17.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice. Someone sent.
Cut the toes off the sneakers, and you've got some awesome slippers. Or find a way to send them back. What a drag. That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That does suck because that would be tight. That would be too tight.
It's a good gesture, but damn, that's annoying.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's the thought that counts, I guess.
That's like every Christmas I've been taught to do an anonymous gift of charity. And every year, I go and leave candy at the orphanage. And last year I went and I wanted to be nice about it. And I went to the hypoglycemic children's home, and they just treated me like a piece of shit there.
Gorilla, I'm sending something in private chat. I need you to help me how to say this damn name. How do you say this name in the private chat?
Harambe. It's Harambe. You don't have to roll the R.
It's Brandon Braga.
Brandon Braga.
Yeah, Brandon Braga.
He was with DS9, wasn't he?
Enterprise.
He starts out with he's a TNG story guy, I think, first. I think he's spot on for. You're doing a good job. Go ahead. Why don't you fill the sound of silence with your voice and let us know your wisdom here?
No, I was just going to agree with you, Tika. He did some screenplay for like TNG first, right? And then he just kind of grew from there. So that's all I was saying.
Well, the reason why I'm asking, on how you pronounce his name is because I'm looking at some news right here where he says he thinks Star Trek Enterprise should have been more violent.
Okay,
they got pretty violent at the Xindi arc.
We see people bleeding in a more lacerated but bruised up way than we have before. It is a little more violent. Archer is more of like a punch out kind of tough guy than Sisko or, of course, Janeway or, analytical asshole Picard as we see him now. He's a tough, hands-on Kirk-like captain, and it's just refreshing. I have enjoyed every episode of Enterprise. This week we open up a huge can of worms, the temporal time war, which is just nonsense. Whenever you mix time travel into your story, you're just inviting disaster. No one cares about a story about time travel. But no one walked out of Terminator 2. So people like stories with time travel. It doesn't have to make sense. You just have to keep it secret and keep it safe. So the decision to play around with time travel, very understandable. What happened? Equally understandable. Walking away from that story, I don't see what else they could have done. They're like, we have the power to change the outcome of all events, and that's just hanging over every bad thing that happens. They had to close that plot, and they literally just gave up the way they did it. They're like, we're going to close this door, and it was like closing the plot door. They're like, we're just closing it and sealing it. We're not going to ever go in there again, and they don't. Only Discovery was insane enough.
Much more violence. They would have had a higher rating too, and they didn't want to do that.
And hello, Matt G. No, I'm just saying hello to Matt G.
I think we have the kind of fighting that we see more in TOS than we'd seen since. Like, we don't mix it up in TNG too much because, like, no, this far, no farther, and all that other stuff, you know. And Cisco's just like, I would kick your ass if I wasn't a god and didn't have it in my contract that I don't fight. Or whatever reason it kept him from punching the fuck out of more people, because that would have helped his situation by a lot. Because when Worf shows up and starts basically doing that, things get better on the station. Janeway, she's probably the toughest of all. She's like, I'll leave you to some dinosaurs who left Earth and have your body never repatriated. You know, like, she didn't give a fuck. So he's a better captain than we'd seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Janeway,
ambassadorial wing. No gorillas volunteering to touch you.
Yeah. Welcome, Matt.
Not unless you buy him a few drinks.
Hi, Matt.
Hey,
that name's gonna
keep getting
longer.
You need to buy me a few drinks first. Welcome, Eugene Bird, and welcome, Chief Judge Finity.
A cold welcome to Eugene Bird.
Eugene Bird and Taylor Swift, I meant. We already said how.
Wow, Taylor Swift. We finally saw the avatar. That's a great avatar. That's a great avatar. You don't have to like Taylor Swift to think that that's a really good avatar. That looks cool, bro. Good job on that one. That name's going to keep getting longer, though, because there's a few more. How are you going to fit Rings of Power? Soon it's just going to be like, when we talk to Matt G, it'll be like the whole like bubble will be his name of failed franchise, and it'll be like HI, and then like another like bubble Matt, and then like another bubble G, it's, and another one like Great to See. Like if you keep tracking the failures of major franchises, that name is going to get long. But I really appreciate and salute what you're doing there by making sort of a fire suit out of it. Way to go.
And Admiralty, I would say Janeway is more of a mama bear type of Starfleet character. Like if you touch her crew, she'll fuck you up real bad.
Until the episodes where she just okay.
Don't.
The question was to me, Mikey. Until the episodes where she doesn't, for some strange reason. She was a character of convenience too much. And the one thing we can't really do, especially after seeing the captains with William Shatner and seeing how much respect he had for her more than any other captain, which surprised me. I would have to say that we have to appreciate. We see the outtakes in the documentary with the other captain that they tried to work with, who walked out on like Tuesday afternoon. On Wednesday morning, they're showing the shit that Janeway did that they did with Kate Mulgrew. Kate Mulgrew read that script, put on that uniform, walked in there, and she's like, "Warp 5, Ensign Kim," and it just like she at least sold that because she had less to work with than anyone since William.
Teague, either your mic broke down or your connection was lost for a second.
Yeah, you dropped out for about 3 seconds there.
Captain Janeway had no identifiable persistent traits. She changed a lot from episode to episode. Sometimes
that was all of them.
Sometimes
that was all of the Voyager crew. They changed them.
Yeah,
how that week's script needed to fall out. Oh, all of a sudden you're a hothead. You're a expert on painting or whatever they wanted.
Some things are okay. Like the show gets better. Like for instance, I've said this a lot. My problem with early Voyager is we have Tom Paris, who's a fucking infant. He's a fucking infant. He's got shit to say to Chakotay. He's got a problem with just pushing buttons at his station at work. He's a fucking pain in the ass. And then, like, it's just after him being an infant for like 3 seasons and it's intolerable, they've been shipping him and B'Elanna for so long because it doesn't work with him or anybody else. So they put him with B'Elanna. And for some reason, somebody got an idea from, instead of having him be a fucking infant, he'll be a big kid who's kind of lovable but dumb. And that finally, like, I appreciate that. I think Voyager's a bad news sandwich. The middle is good. The first 2 seasons and the last 2 seasons, it's shit.
Hello, KHC 2005.
Yeah, he loves to say nerds.
Well, we are nerds.
Yes, but Revenge of the Nerds. That's how he likes it when he comes, and I occasionally say it on my streams, and he likes it that way, or at least I hope he does. I can't really speak for him, but hey,
Bird. I think it was 4 seasons when the Candy and came on Voyager.
Season 4.
I don't know, but there is so much stuff out there about season 5 now too that I don't know what to believe. Have you guys seen that upgraded Enterprise with the drive section and stuff? It's a really cool drawing.
Well, hold on. Well, Bert, let me. Bert,
not Bert. Teague. Teague. Dan.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm talking to Bert's question in the chat though right now. When it comes to 7 of 9, 7 of 9 was in the last 2 episodes of season 4, but she was in her Borg outfit. If you want to go the sexy 7 of 9 outfit, that happened in season 5 for the sexy 7 of 9 outfit.
And Dan, don't forget, it was a 2-part episode called Scorpion. So that's when she showed up.
There's a few 7 and 9 outfits. I think my favorite is the silver one.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, the silver one. I agree with that, Tate. Actually, yeah, the silver one.
There's really just 3 main ones: the gray one, the silver one, and then the Borg outfit.
Yeah,
the gray one is by far the most common. The silver one is sexy as fuck, and it's the one that gets cosplayed the most.
Yeah, and Jerry Ryan probably hates being called eye candy, or like, gee, can you still fit in that costume?
You can shut the fuck up.
It's just like, no, I can't fit in that outfit.
Yeah, because she got a bigger boob implants. She can shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear from Jerry Ryan anymore after what she said at that Star Trek convention in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No one gives a fuck about Jerry Ryan. You're a beautiful woman and a good Star Trek actress. Shut the fuck up about politics. No one cares. You already have done enough for us by divorcing your husband and then saying that you lied about what happened to try to save his chances, and he got beaten by some guy that went. Whatever happened to the guy who beat her husband? That Obama guy. So maybe she should shut the fuck up. She's had enough of a say in American politics. Her and Marina
I personally don't think that a lot of celebs should get into politics, period. So, you know.
The only thing I can say is, in her defense, she comes out of it, having been a political wife. She was looking to be a DC wife, and then, like, whatever. She thought her husband was a weirdo, and she wanted to get rid of him. Her divorce lawyer went a bit too far in a few places, was the second story, but the first story was too messed up for him to survive, and we got a community organizer was able to win that campaign to be senator of Illinois, where he only was senator for about 16 months. And what did he do after that, guys? I can't remember.
He killed thousands of people.
I don't think we remember. Yeah.
But he was, to be fair, he was never going to win that senator election. Illinois, you buy senator seats. You don't run for election.
Yeah, but I think that one might have been unbuyable because polls still exist, and he was absolutely destroying it. And I don't think Obama jumped in until that guy blew up. I think that guy was an ally of Obama's, and Obama was the replacement. I think that Jerry Ryan was married to a guy who, she wasn't married to the Republican incumbent. Both guys were making a bid for the seat, and that guy goes down in flames because the divorce decree said what it said, and we all know what it said. And I wish I had been there because I would have just borrowed money.
Right. Well, let me ask all of you guys this question. So here's the situation we're facing. We're at a crossroads right now. We have had all types of male presidents, including an African American one. We have never had a female.
How does that differentiate? How does that differentiate him? And yeah, he's an American African. If we're gonna split hairs, but I wasn't
splitting hairs. I was just trying to be correct. I was just trying to be PC on that. What I'm saying is, we have had female vice presidents, but what would happen if we actually got a female president?
Now.
What the hell would happen? That's all I'm asking.
Oh, now. All right, we've had a female vice president, and what we found out is that no matter how incapacitated the male president is, they won't have him resign because we can't get a test drive. I think if we did get a test drive from Kamala, that would be the end of that, and no one would want her to have the big job. As it is, I have a funny feeling that my friend Jerry Mander will decide the election, and he's not going to be too fair. And I don't know how many people are going to very much like it. I'm sorry to say.
Well,
The
Mikey,
president should be from Queens. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Mikey, I will say this: if we ever get a female president by a miracle, they have to have a strong personality and stand up with the other strong personalities around the world to handle them, or to at least compete with them, strong personality wise. If the female president can't do that, then she's not fit to run for office, or
Right.
at least for the international stage phase of being president.
And just to show that we're only just so sexist, you know what? Sometimes with the help of her husband, Maggie Thatcher did an all right job. I'm sure her husband gave her the ideas, but I mean, Maggie Thatcher was considered to be competent, whether or not people liked her policies.
Hey, Snort, I'll vote for you tomorrow, and from Canada, and that way you won't eat my cats. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I welcome FKHC 2005 and Store to Poop's Keeper. Welcome.
I have initiated a program to arm all pets in Springfield, starting with Snowball 2, who has been. When we find who killed Snowball 1, there will be justice.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty good
Quimby. I can definitely use it.
Yeah. Hello, James.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've only had 40 years to work on my Quimby.
Your Quimby,
oh my
right?
God, has The Simpsons been on that long?
The Simpsons has been on since 1663 when it was a simple puppet show in Amsterdam. It's called Der Simpsons. It had 2 O's. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
It's been like 35 years.
Yeah.
Hey, like 635 fucking years. It's 38, I think.
Yeah.
If we count Tracy Ullman, it's more. But that's not The Simpsons. It's substantially different.
You're right, Teague. It is 38 years since 1987 when Tracy Ullman introduced them on her show. Yeah.
89. 89 is their own show.
Yeah, 89 or 90, I believe it was.
I don't think it's 90, but I think we're talking like November of 89. But yeah. They're not an original Fox show, but what happens is people realize this is working out just in time to did they cancel the Matthew Perry show where he was in love with a ghost who was dead? Like there's any other kind, but like he was his girlfriend was dead. He had like a ghost girlfriend or some weird shit like that in that Fox show. Like the first few Fox shows were weird. There was one with Matthew Perry where his girlfriend was like a ghost.
Okay.
My favorite.
The Christmas special debuted in December of 89. Simpsons roasting on a open fire. The series itself debuted January 14 to May 13, 1990.
And it probably debuted that day because Fox likely had the Super Bowl that year, which used to come earlier a lot. Yeah. Although I don't know. It's so long ago. We're talking about there were only 6 teams in the NFL, and there were only 3 baseball teams. So somebody won the World Series every 3rd year. That's how old the Simpsons are. The first president to be on the Simpsons was Taft.
So in effect, we're saying they're celebrating we're saying they're celebrating their 35th anniversary next year. That's what we're saying.
I just know when Jerm and I came back from World War I, we enjoyed listening to The Simpsons on the radio before the stock market crash, where we survived because we had invested heavily in Simpsons merchandise, which sold well throughout the Depression. And then we made it big with the Simpsons tank. And, of course, the introduction of biological weapons, Spider Pig. Jerm and I have a lot of secrets.
Okay, I'm back. Guys, sorry.
I knew you were back because I felt the quickening.
Yeah, right? We all had the fucking Highlander sense.
Yeah, I'm looking at the...
have you ever heard of that website?
Crafted characters across Star Trek.
Have you ever heard of that?
No, I want to answer that question. 1919, 1920, 1921, 1922, 1923 has a show. Check that out. 1924, 5, 6, 7, and 8 happened. That's comprehensive. Yeah.
Jerem, tell me, have you heard of that website at all, or not?
No, I haven't heard of the website before.
Heard of cyanide.
RedshirtsAlwaysMustDie.com.
Well, and if you want to show it in your live stream, just open up a new share screen on your StreamYard, unless you just want to read it out to us.
I think we'll just read it out. 3 most poorly crafted characters across Star Trek. Number 1, they go with Kes.
I can't argue. Can't argue. 2 is Neelix.
No.
It should have been 1, Neelix and Kes.
Surprisingly.
Wesley better be on that list or I'm smacking someone.
It is. He is.
Number 2 is Michael Burnham.
She's not a Star Trek character.
That
She's not a Star Trek character. She's not a Star Trek character.
I agree with that. I'm surprised they actually.
That's insulting to Star Trek fans, but I'm glad that they put her down. Although I would say that other character we mentioned is more well crafted than her.
Yeah, and now securing the bronze place is who? Resolute Germ?
Everyone's favorite little smartass, Wesley Crusher.
Oh God.
They put a lot of work into crafting the character. They just got terrible results. Wesley Crusher's origin tale was good enough. So I mean, I get where people are coming from. It didn't work out.
This isn't so much badly crafted as badly performed, badly
he wasn't
written.
bad. I'm not gonna say he was bad. He's bad now. If you've seen him act now, if you saw him in that 1 minute of Picard season 2, where he appears as Traveler Leslie, holy smoke, he's only played himself for too long. He can't affect a laugh. I don't know if they didn't give him time to prepare, but like he couldn't even like get a. You would figured like time traveler Wesley, who's been interdimensional with the Traveler and all that other shit, would just be like, hi, I'm here to take you on a journey. It's very important you come with me. It was like, hi, I'm a time traveler. And it was he can't act anymore. He was once fairly good. I'm serious. I know that people hate him, but he was a pretty decent child actor, although we can throw out Stand By Me because the narration saves any child actor. We found out with Fred Savage. Fred Savage can't act. The narration was saving him.
Yeah, but even as a kid, he was a bit of a douchebag. On and off.
I didn't know about that stuff. What happened is I wanted that character to work out because I saw a not so very healthy Gene Roddenberry emphatically begging us to give the character a chance. So I did. I was alive to see Gene Roddenberry talk about the character and how important it was that he has to do this, the character, and that had the character represented him. And then when he died, I really started pulling for the character. There is no time travel debate, by the way. The time travel debate is settled by the fact that nobody walked out of Terminator 2, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. So until people start to come up with their story and show their movie ticket or whatever, prove that they walked out of Terminator or Terminator 2, there is no rule or debate about time travel. It's either going to work in your story or it isn't. It's not connected to any other time travel unless you have a franchise.
Yeah, but being in the same age demo as the Wesley Crusher character, I hated him. I wanted him to get spaced every episode.
It got to that point, but like I gotta say, he brought us the most memed and hilarious moment in Star Trek history of drugs can make you feel good, but it's only temporary. Like if only Wesley Crusher would, if only Will Wheaton would smoke a joint and calm down.
I gotta say that, well, from what I hear, he was just too naive and too smug. He was.
Especially smug.
See, Tim, I would just come out to say time travel, if done right, is keep it secret, keep it safe. Because if we get a story with time travel, cool. A story about time travel, we're going to start to see why the Star Trek people just didn't want any part of it. They do it a few times, and they do it different ways. They have an internal Star Trek time travel, and then they have some magic time travel that doesn't make sense. And the magic time travel that makes absolutely no fucking sense is called the best episode of Star Trek ever. So if you think there's rules or any use in debating time travel, I would point out that piece of crap show Loki still did great, and that time travel was laughable, and they because they got into it. Whenever you explain it or do anything but say, okay, so we've traveled time, anything beyond that is unasked for and starts to sabotage your story, and people will then pick it apart and walk out.
Well, here's something I have
Terminator 2, though. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, I just want to say something about time travel, if I could. The thing I understand about time travel is it has a lot to do with time. It has a lot to do with continuum. It has a lot to do with location. And has a lot to do with physics, right? To some degree, some mathematics involved. If it can't be done right, then why even bother? I mean, I don't think there's been any realistic time travel thing, Steve.
You just have. There have been very successful movies with time travel, but those movies don't detail the time travel. They do not detail the time travel. In Terminator, he appears. That's it. Whoosh. Who walked out? No one gave a fuck that it didn't make any goddamn sense. All right? Show me the people. Like, I want to see the news story. If anybody says that time travel has rules and needs to make sense, I want to see the fucking news story from 1989. People walking out in droves, some ridiculous, preposterous movie, Terminator 2, the biggest failure of the year. It was the biggest movie of the fucking year, and nobody gave a fuck. But when they try to do movies with time travel as the story itself, how well did the Butterfly Effect do? It's not even on Saturdays, and I don't know, who's the love interest? Is it Claire Filani or Joey Lauren Adams? No one has any goddamn idea. There's your movie about time travel. Look at 12 Monkeys. What a piece of shit. People say, oh, time travel, if you go back and it's a closed loop, it'll make sense. They kill someone every time they go back to 1914, and nothing changes, so it's bullshit. People say that there's rules and they want to base some kind of cockamamie theory off of it or make a career off of it. Keep it simple, keep it secret, keep it safe, and everybody's going to love it. Explain it. You're a loser. Everyone hates your story. Show me the one that worked.
Now, Teague, let me ask you about The Time Machine. Hold on. The Time Machine with George Pell. So that's not a bad movie.
How does that make sense, that movie? It's fine. It's fun. But I've devised a machine. The wonderful machine could travel time. What else do we fucking get?
Okay, let's get to the chat here. Snort used to feel sorry for Will Wheaton for all the hate. Then he opened his mouth politically. Now no one loves him. Well, I don't think anyone ever really loved him because he is that big of a douchebag. Even his parents at a young age said, yeah, this kid's a little bit of a piece of shit. Let's just throw him up on camera and make us some money.
I'm not so much triggered. I would say I'm laughing at the so-called superior intellect. How's that time travel channel doing now?
Travel time, I got to where I was going. I wasn't there. Yeah, that's always a trouble. Snort.
Well, if Teague is annoyed by time travel, he's going to annoy my comment once Resolute Sherman gets to it.
The best time travel story in Star Trek, the best two Star Trek time travel stories make absolutely no sense. Guardian at the Edge of Forever, and in TNG, I think we're all going to agree the best episode that doesn't have to go 2 episodes, and maybe even the best story ever, is Yesterday's Enterprise. What do they say? We were attacked. There was a flash of light. Now we're in your time. The singularity just stays there, like hovering in space. It has no it's not defined, and like, oh, we've determined it's stable. That's enough. And they just move on and like, oh, let's put another crew on, fix this ship up to 80% and send it back, like with a little bit of automation to help them, overcome some more of this battle in time for at least people to get there to save the innocent people on the planet at Neandra 3. Okay, so that time travel story was that so much they were fired at by so many ships at once that the photon torpedoes broke time in reality, and it made a hole that lasted 4 days on the other side that was there so long that the captain died and Shooter McGavin was put in place as captain. some weird shit. If they had stopped to talk about the anomaly, is it stable? How long would it last? That's it. Your story's fucking over. Instead, what we do is, okay, we have time travel in our stories, like Tasha Yar. I shouldn't be here. Whoopi Goldberg. No, you shouldn't. You know, and like it's a great story, better than any of their movies. So time travel, yeah, it has its place, but keep it secret, keep it safe. Their explanation was one line that does anybody really accept that as like. It's like it would have even been better if they said we tried to escape the Romulans by doing the slingshot maneuver around the sun, but they were just like so many photon torpedoes blew up at once. We saw a flash of light. Next thing we knew, we were here. That's it.
Yeah,
their best
better because they needed a way back.
Their best story. Their best. They had a way back with the slingshot maneuver, which is known by then, but it's their best story.
Yeah, but I think we all agree that turning the Guardian of Forever into Carl is just wrong.
that never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
I couldn't even believe
I
that
only
bullshit.
talk about Star Trek.
And
let's talk to Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the
Future. No, because when you take them out at the end of Back to the Future 1, you make Back to the Future 2 impossible because they're not there to do the things that create these timelines. So Back to the Future, who walked out about I want to see the people walking like failure movie Back to the Future 2. Everyone walking out. Makes no sense. Balking. For months, people have been saying that this movie didn't make logical sense. People didn't go there to see a movie that made fucking sense. They went there to laugh.
There's alternative timelines too, Emerald. Take alternative timelines.
Well, the time travel stuff won't matter anymore because most people use the multiverse because the time travel thing, as we pointed out, it's so easy to poke holes in. So they came up with another term from physics. There is some such thing as the multiverse. I was unable to comprehend it, but I didn't spend a lot of time reading about it. Someone tried to explain it to me. I wasn't that interested. It's not proven. It's theoretical. They've taken that word and ran with it in comic books. There is such a thing as the multiversal theory. But the way they're using it has nothing to do with anything. And that's why they go like, the multiverse is a concept we know frighteningly little about. And I know all about it. It's a cheap third-rate resurrection machine for a bunch of people who have figured out the way to poke holes in every time travel movie. And time travel movies are going away. It's multiverse now.
Hey, Jim.
For a while.
Yeah, it's the string theory for comic books.
Hey, Jim.
It literally, if you it's unprovable, so it has to be right.
Interstellar destroys all time travel. Interstellar destroys all time travel movies with super boring real time travel, super stupid real time travel, and super stupid movie.
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim. We'll get to your comment in a minute.
Well, and
the movie, he was a French soldier in that film.
Well, Teague, look.
Nice, FKH.
Well, if you ever seen Back to the Future Part 2, even though you hate time travel movies, they do.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's hilarious.
They do explain alternative timelines in that movie. They do. So there is a such thing as alternative timelines in that universe. There is.
I'll be honest, I missed that, but it's nice that they had a line of dialogue. That's how easy it is to keep your time travel secret and safe. They're like, don't explain it. What do we do? Throw away a line of dialogue between jokes. Great, got it. How's it all work? Flux capacitor. What's that? Don't know. You know what?
They
It'll
have
be fine.
In that movie. They have the alternative timeline works for the second half of the movie. The front half, when they go to 2015, completely blows it out of the water.
Well, not
Marty sees himself.
Well,
again,
he's removed himself from the timeline.
Well,
did it matter?
It's sort of a paradox in reality because it's past self, and then it's a paradox. It is, but it's an interesting paradox.
The thing is,
but it's meant not to be thought of at all. The more time you think of it, the more you're gonna not like the movie.
In the very light comedy, which is Back to the Future, which is a family comedy made for everybody. It's got a little bit of sci-fi for dad and the older kid, and then it's got a lot of fun, cutesy stuff and great jokes that everyone's gonna get. And that's Back to the Future. If you analyze it, it doesn't make sense. No one went there to see a movie that made sense. Like, again, show me the movie footage. You know, it was like failed movie Back to the Future. For years, they've been telling them not to make this movie. It doesn't make no one fucking cared.
Well, like I could say the same about a lot of movies in your guys' time period, 80s and 90s. You guys love those movies, but the plots don't make any sense, or or the timelines don't make any sense in those movies, but you love them no matter what. I can say the same thing about those movies to you.
Well,
that's because they put effort where it belongs.
Yeah,
the effort belongs in the story, not explaining the magical science behind the plot point.
Back to the Future, that's time travel. Go to a different medium. Go with something like what's it called? Get Your Ass to Mars 1.0, Total Recall, where it's just like he's in a dream, and then he goes into a dream within a dream, and then allegedly he has a chance to stop dreaming, and then he confirms he's never dreaming. We can't sort out what really happens in that movie. Is he in the Recall Inc. just like a vegetable? Did he do what he thinks he did? Did everything work out like he said? Was it a true story? And also, like, absolutely unrelated to the book, but we don't know. And that's the problem with time travel, is the problem with dreams and delusions. Like, if you have an unreliable narrator who then has a dream, you're twice removed from what might be happening. And then what the bad shows like Star Trek and MCU and Disney do is they'll have a dream within that dream from the unreliable narrator, and they won't resolve how many dreams you come back out, and they'll just leave you wondering what the fuck happened at all, so that they can get through an episode and have nothing happen.
And Eugene Bird has special relativity, flat space-time, and general relativity permits closed time-like curves are the two mathematical models that are most commonly used.
Well, so there's
but that's just two. I mean, the rest of it seems like fantasy to me, not exactly, something we can prove scientifically. That's the
wait. You're telling me that a chair with a roulette wheel on the back isn't convincing enough to you? Does it tell you that it's actually technology?
If it's done correctly, like in the Time Machine, what I remember is that it was spun a certain way, right? But he said it could go only forwards and maybe somewhat back. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't know. It seemed feasible for the time frame. It was done in the 50s. That's when the movie came out. So,
Yeah, but the book was written in
1880,
1870,
maybe 1890. Yeah. Somewhere in there. Jules Verne's 20-year career is like 1870 to 1890-ish.
Yeah, all the time in the world. Hey, be yourself. That's my buddy Larry. Hey, Larry. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I would say the one effect
about
yourself. I would say the one thing about the Back to the Future movies, it's the cause and effect time travel type of stuff. Like, if you travel back in time, well, now I'm getting back to the time travel day, but they go by cause and effect in their time travel. The Back to the Future universe does cause and effect.
Every single it's fun enough, but show me the time travel movie that's not a failure. That's a movie about traveling time rather than a movie that just has time travel in it. Show me a movie about traveling time, I'll show you a movie that failed and didn't make much money and that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah, even the Time Machine isn't really about time travel.
Timeline. When's Timeline 2 coming out? It's only been 35 years. Who wrote it? Michael Crichton. If only Michael Crichton had a track record of success in other sciencey stuff, maybe it's unsellable. The other thing is this: it's unsellable, and also it's the leakiest tub of all. So what we end up having is we go with this multiverse thing where no one knows enough about it to be able to second guess them, and the writers just rubbing their hands together. It's too bad. Maybe you could say there's a case where people could have made time travel movies that works, but turns out that maybe time travel is just so inherently bad that no one can do it. I've never seen anyone, complete a time travel story. I've never seen anyone write one that's good, and I've seen more failed time travel stories than anything else. As far as can't even get them off the ground.
Well, the one thing about time
best
travel,
as a plot device.
It's complicated. Time travel and writing it is complicated. It is. Especially when especially when you don't fully understand it, time travel wise.
Yeah, now Dan, there's something we're forgetting too. Don't forget the Planet of the Apes. Those first two movies. right?
They
How they ended up
explain that
somehow
it's
back in a
bullshit, but
previous.
look, the only thing that's unexplained is how the fuck they don't go from one planet to another when that's their goal. But
Time
apparently,
travel
what
is
happened?
life, right? Suzanne said that too. No, I just was throwing that in. Sorry.
And it's simple. The ship made a mistake by U-turning back towards Earth and did the time travel that way by traveling at the speed of light.
There's a conversation about the Hess line curve, and what I'm assuming is that was like a possible problem. So when they get back and they verify a few things, and then they're all weirded out, they're like, Dr. Hessline's theory is correct. But I don't know if that explains why they don't go where they were. They're supposed to be going somewhere else using Dr. Hessline's like theory to like fold time. I did try to establish a human colony on another planet, but they end up going nowhere except their own future. Like that ship, like technically, for the point of view of the people who launched it, went up. At some point, they lost contact with it, and then it, like what is it? 2,000 years later, it just comes crashing down in the New York area.
Well, and it depends on what the original ship's designated coordinates or its origin coordinates were. Maybe the ship was trying to head back towards that after it made its U-turn.
In the last Planet of the Apes movie, it looks like they're going to ignore their space travelers completely and do something else, because we did set up the astronauts' return in the first movie, and we just haven't talked about the lost Icarus probe to Mars since.
And now Bird is trying to give us some scientific jargon.
Could we call him Eugene?
Call him Eugene. It gets confusing.
Could we please call him Eugene?
Oh, sorry. Eugene.
Yeah, he's given us the technical specs, but
you're absolutely correct. It seems to me you're correct from looking at it.
But the technical specs don't mean shit in the movie. The more they bring in the technical specs, the worse the movie gets.
Right. Like, for instance, isn't there a 9-month mission to Mars and back, assuming they don't stop there? Right. So the round trip to Mars and back, you would lose it would take something like 9 months, and you would lose 8 minutes. You would travel forward in time. You would experience 8 less minutes of time because of the speed you're traveling. So what I say is, who the fuck would perceive that? So, and that's your ratio right now, 9 months of travel to go 8 minutes back. And by the way, when you get here, it's not like you arrive 8 minutes earlier. They always knew when you were going to get back. It's your own perception. Your clock would not register those 8 minutes. The chronometer will be off when they get back by like whatever it is.
I agree with you, Snorty, that time travel and Superman pretty stupid.
But that was the best use of time travel in any movie, because whoop, just did it, didn't explain it, and then walked away. That's like the best use of, but he's right, it's stupid. But think about it. It's so stupid.
Not my least favorite part of the movie either.
But here's the thing, it is a really good movie. At least a lot of people do. I like that movie a lot, and I'll just say this, like, that movie proves it doesn't have to make sense. Like, if you want to use time travel to fix your movie, just do it real quick and never talk about it again. Why doesn't he rewind time every other time shit goes wrong for him?
Time between two events is measured differently by different people, depending on.
We're talking about distances of like
time is all
chunks of a solar system, though, and really high speeds, I believe, right?
Yeah, but you know what made more sense to me was the Phantom Zone.
Germ.
The Phantom Zone
was the only one who could answer that question. Are we talking
Go ahead.
chunks of the solar system and really high speed to make that happen?
Probably. Mikey, go ahead.
I was just saying that, to me, the only thing that made sense was the Phantom Zone. That really is the only thing that made sense to me. Putting them in a place, where there's no time or space. Just the Phantom Zone. That made sense.
They didn't go forward in time or space, but they were on like awake, alive, and aware pause. It looked pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah.
and more technical specs. From all you're saying, Eugene, everything I'm hearing, time is imaginary. It's only through individual perception. So time and space are not linked.
I think Hawking agrees with you on that one. Well, Hawking agrees that like time and space are only somewhat linked.
Let's see if we get more time and paper to explain.
You don't have to shut up.
Known about time and actual physics. No offense to you, Eugene. I'm glad you don't, because I find this stuff to be migraine inducing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't discourage you from like just telling us, if it's wrong and keeping it on like our like. We only have about a 30,000-foot view of time travel, real time travel. It's going to be a long time. All we know for sure is that no one has come back from the future to tell me who's going to win the Yankee game. I wish they would.
Here's a hint: it's not the Yankees.
Yeah.
Or better yet, Jake comes back and hands you the lottery ticket and lets you win the lottery.
Oh, there would be several hitmen out there.
Of course, just can you pay them off?
Oh, I would be hiring several hitmen if I won the lottery.
Yeah, there's a few discreet interventions I'd like to see happen to certain people.
Let's just call them tie up a few loose ends. But yeah, no, I mean, like,
you come back to tell me the winning lotto numbers. Well, if they told you, they wouldn't be the winning lotto numbers.
If there was time travel, what do you call it? A resolute germ would time travel to play cards against himself, so at least he would win.
No, I would cheat.
Oh, thank you, Eugene. Yeah, we're just talking about in sci-fi. The actual, I mean, I don't. This is not meant to sound dismissive at all. I really respect people who've learned about this stuff, and I really thank you very much for agreeing with me, and it's very reasonable of you. And here's the thing: like, we think it's a great plot device. It's fun, but if you make a plot device your movie, that's what goes where things go wrong. Look at J.J. Abrams. A mystery box is a viable plot device. It gets used on like crime shows and every whodunit movie all the time. Only Rian Johnson can't do it right, and JJ. By imposing that onto sci-fi, he's just, it's weird and it doesn't work. And if there was a mystery that he could pay off and it didn't drive the whole plot, that would be one thing. But there's a mystery he can't pay off that drives the entire plot. And the only thing he's figured out how to do is when people get bored of one mystery, he introduces another one. We have a weird knife that takes us to a weird place where we meet a weird robot who does a weird deprogramming, who has 3PO read the knife, because even though he can read it, he can't say it. But they won't have him write it down or tell someone else or go into a room and speak it to a recording, which any of us could figure out. But by that movie, I think I felt great about the way the Star Wars fans were getting what they deserved, because I was scoffed at and called crazy because I said J.J. Abrams is a terrible filmmaker. They said Star Wars has always been better than Star Trek, and I didn't argue that, but they said and always been easier to write. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Star Trek presents you with a much wider palette to paint upon and a much bigger canvas. A much wider palette of colors and a much bigger canvas.
All right. Can we try to change the subject, please?
Yeah, if you have something else besides the time travel.
Well, I was thinking maybe talk some Star Trek topics or Star Wars topics or whatever you guys want to talk about to try to change the subject.
Star Wars. Do we have anything going on right now except for the fact that we all want the cast of the Acolyte to go away. I have found one Acolyte cast member who is cool, who is talking. Check out on Twitter, all one word, awful Star Wars rat creature seems to be the only cast member who's very sorry. That character has apologized to the fans, and said that they don't agree with Amandla. So hats off to the rat creature. I look forward to seeing the rat creature in other Star Wars. He sniffs things. It's great.
And I do have to say, in that one preview video where one of the actors says, I love it when Anakin blows up the Death Star. That tells me, okay, you're not a Star Wars fan at all if you don't know that was Luke that blew up the Death Star, you idiots.
If he had been a Star Wars fan, they would not have hired him.
True. And Snort has the right idea. Magical time traveling bears.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it. Ursus Kronos, the time traveling bear.
I do have all these new actors that are in show business. Do they have any charisma like the old actors, or not really?
No, they're taught not to.
I don't like Timothy Chalamet, but he can fill a theater, and I guess people think he's a commanding actor. I have to check him out. Tom Holland is pretty mayonnaise, in my opinion. I haven't seen him do anything that really excited me. Him doing a different take on his own character, where he just makes his own character more like the character originally was, and like reverse arcs his character in Spider-Man Far From Home. While the movie No Way Home, while that movie was enjoyable, like I don't know how to assess Tom Holland. Like all the Star Wars cast from the prequels, like that was a while ago now. They're not new and on the scene. None of them are doing anything. They all kind of fizzled out. I guess the Harrison Ford of that group, we thought it was going to be Kylo Ren, but I guess it's Oscar. I guess it's Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, well, the reason why I'm asking because once these older actors try to kick the bucket that are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we got these younger actors to replace them, and they have no presence or no charisma, then what happens then? Do we get bad movies with or bland movies with barely any actor presence that's able to carry a movie or something? Like, what happens then?
If you check out Alien Romulus,
Hollywood,
that's basically Alien Romulus right there.
Dan, let me ask you a question. Yeah, Dan.
Hey, Brad Wolf, how's it going?
Hey, Brad Wolf. We talked about this before, Dan, so I'm going to ask you the question. When it comes to coming up with plots as far as Star Wars or Star Trek is concerned, the first thing that has to come up is a screenplay, right? You got to have decent writers that can actually come up with something feasible, and then you got to come up with the right actors or actresses that want to do this. So, and the right director, or right producers. But if we don't have that, then we don't have a story. We don't have any platform to stand on. And right now, that's the problem with Star Trek and Star Wars. They don't have a set platform to stand on. None of them do. So, what do you say to that, Dan? I mean, come on.
Well, from what I hear from fans and commentators actually cover that stuff, the single trilogy sort of had a plan with Force Awakens, but then after JJ left, that plan was thrown out the window. And then then
JJ was never contracted to do the second one. It was always the same asshole, but he went off script. And they brought JJ back to try to salvage the third one. There's no salvaging that shit.
Private chat.
He just threw out whatever he wanted to and took the money and literally ran away.
And that's sort of what I was trying to say, Resolute Germ.
Well, I appreciate you answering my question there, Dan.
If there's no solid plan for a movie or for a new trilogy at all, then with a good story or at least semi-good story and a good director to direct the story, then what's the point of making a new trilogy or a new movie then? What's the point?
Yeah, well, we've already seen the failure of that. And I do want to address one thing real quick about Deadpool and Wolverine. It is a good movie. There's no doubt about it. But it is a temporary Band-Aid. There isn't enough to save it after it. Now, if they can find some way to replicate or duplicate the success that Deadpool has put out, then I'm for that. But if they can't find that, well, then we're stuck. We're stuck with whatever comes out, so we're just stuck with it. And we don't have to pay for it. right? We don't have to use money. So,
Well,
Yeah,
we
don't
just
see
wait for
it.
the damn
Don't
thing
talk
on
about it.
Netflix or some shit, So, nerds. Yeah, Kronos, yeah.
yeah, and Mikey, and we'll
Welcome,
tell you this.
Kronos.
And Mike, I would tell you this: as an expanding universe Star Wars fan, or from watching Star Wars scholars that actually study the subject, there are a lot of good EU stories that actually have good characters and good writers doing them, and they were semi-connected by a overarching committee. But those were good stories that had a semi-coherent storyline after the original trilogy, and somewhat in between the prequel era and the original trilogy era to fill in the gap. So if they ever want to make a new Star Wars movie, well, just take inspiration or do a story from the expanded universe, actually a good story, and do that for a film medium, and Star Wars fans would love it, especially for their favorite characters. If they do the characters justice too, but they probably won't.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing,
they
Dan.
officially
Now,
flushed all that.
Go ahead, John.
Especially, they flushed all that because they didn't want to pay royalties to everyone who actually did the work. Right. And you've noticed they've tried copying stuff to put a little Disney spin on it, so it's all in house.
Yeah, and from what I hear, the new Disney canon shit is second rate or a shadow or a shell of the former Disney Legends. I mean, the Star Wars Legends universe lore. And if that's true, then I do not want to touch any of the new Disney lore building with a 10-foot pole in the Disney universe. No, thank you. I'll stick to my Star Wars Legends and the 6 Star Wars movies I know and love. That's all I would stick with.
Yeah, well, as we all know, as we all are aware, when George Lucas sold out to Disney, he sold his soul. So basically, we all suffered because once he sold his soul, we're all damned. So
I think it's in very poor taste to be speaking on behalf of Clobby Affinity.
Well, Mikey, George did not really want. He sold it to be done with it or to stop getting the hate he got for the prequels. He just did not want to deal with the hate or the criticism anymore. So he sold it off, saying, "Hey, Disney, it's your turn. You take all the criticism, all the hate. Meanwhile, I do whatever I want since I got $4.5 billion for selling the deal that caused me so much pain. Now it's your turn to take the hate, to take the pain. Now, bye, see ya."
Right. That was part of it. But
that was just part of it. He got tired.
He was out of money.
Yeah.
He had projects he wanted to do, but he couldn't fund.
Right.
If things were a little bit more successful and he's able to keep the cash flowing, his original idea was to keep going, die, and leave Star Wars into the public domain.
So why not?
He doesn't personally like
because $12 billion changed his mind. Yeah.
Yeah. $4 billion can really have a good effect on your opinion.
Wasn't it
whoever's
12?
The direction. Oh no, we got $4 billion.
4? Well, I thought the deal was
$4 billion for the deal. Right.
Was that? But the thing is, that was the cash and stock, and that stock is now no longer worth $4 billion. It's gone down by like something like 2/3. So he now has like whatever 2.1 billion of that.
I do have a question for all of you. How does something become public domain? Is there a time limit on the stuff that
you can sign it away? That's the first and easiest way is you can sign it away. The second way is that people can play it without you enforcing a copyright. You write a song and you release it into the wild. It's like hitting a home run at a baseball game. You don't own that shit. You have to copyright the song. You have to go through the copyright process. But they enforce music copyrights much more than they enforce the copyright on like movies and images.
That's totally beautiful. Listen, I got to rock and roll. I told you I have other things going on right now. Thanks for having me, guys. Love you. Keep it fun. I'll be listening in the background. Okay, guys.
See
Later.
All right, thanks for stopping by, LDG.
Well,
love you guys.
Love you.
Good guys.
My question to the public domain stuff was, well, how long do we have to wait for Disney's sort of claim shit to wear off for Star Wars to become public domain like we want it to be? How long do we have to wait for that shit?
Well, here's the problem.
Hell freezes over.
Well, here's the problem with that. Sit there. As long as they keep making new Star Wars stuff, they have copyright claim over anything Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's all going to be crap, Gorilla.
That's not exactly how it
just
works.
Think about that.
It doesn't matter if it's keep remaking it. The old stuff will go into public, should go into public domain. The original trilogy should be going into public domain in 2027, but that's not going to happen because of the Disney rule.
They're also, I think, stuff. If you keep making it
out of the public domain, so now it's close to 100 years.
If you keep making it, you extend your copyright for a while. For a while, you can do that. But yeah, they're outside of that.
It can help protect versions of it. But say with Star Wars as the example, the original trilogy and the characters as portrayed in the original trilogy shouldn't be going on much longer, except for the shit Disney has pulled to keep their mouse out of for use.
I do have a question. Does that extend to Star Wars Legends material, all that old stuff, or not?
They will they deny its existence, but they will defend their copyright on it until your death.
Well, if the copyright is 100 years, then we'll all be dead by the time Star Wars becomes public domain again, or ever becomes
probably.
Public domain.
And hello, Lemon.
Hello, Lemon.
Scurvy.
It's always nice for you to give us a slice of you. That joke never gets old.
I thought he gave more slices to women, Dan. He only gives us a minor slice. That's what he told me anyway.
Well, I gotta say, if he all give us a slice of him, then he'll be about half a pie. Depending how many of us love pie.
Now, as long as it's lemon meringue pie, I'm happy with that. Lemon meringue's good.
Do the rest of you like?
Wait, go for it.
Do the rest of you like pie?
I'm gonna stay away from the obvious joke. So go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say. Yeah, no. What I was gonna say was that I didn't really have Speaking of pies, I really didn't have a liking at one time for pecan pie. But thanks to Suzanne, she's the one who introduced me to it. Now I can't see myself not eating it if it's something made. Pecan pie is not so bad. I'm just saying. It takes a chance to try something to see if you like something. So. That's all I was saying to that.
3.1. I give up. Yeah, that's generally where a lot of people give up.
You know what? That's going to be they'll get to that in movie naming. Right now, the new thing is to start your franchise over and spell out the number. It's like Transformers 1. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, not the most creative of names.
Well, that's just bad writing, T.
Well, then what would you call it, Emerald? Transformers Origins?
I don't want to get on Transformers on this one. I don't want to make this a Transformers only thing because there's like 3 or 4 franchises taking that approach. It's like this year's thing. I can't think of another one offhand, but that's spelling out the one that's happening in a couple of places. That seems to be somebody in Hollywood came up with that, and now everyone's jumping on it. And also like Alien Earth. If the xenomorph forms on Earth, is it still an alien? I don't know. I mean, I don't care. Like, how can you prequel Alien on Earth? The movie about the alien coming to Earth has already been made. It's called The Thing.
Yeah, and technically Alien versus Predator too, right, T?
Yeah. You got that song in my brain too.
But honestly, if you think about it, The Thing is the same as the xenomorph, aside from like Yeah, the xenomorph has distinct phases, but the end result is the same. We all become part of like some kind of whole. Those like they're not as connected as the thing, but like all humanity would be gone, and we'd have these things out there.
Yeah. The only way you have xenomorphs on any type of civilized planet is the way they did it in Alien versus Predator.
Is that where they have the arena in Antarctica?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else, they overrun the entire freaking planet.
Yeah. Well, the only way to have aliens, yeah, the Predators were bringing them there to have. They had like an ice arena where they fought it out, and it was like a Roman Colosseum type shit. I gotta be honest. Out of those movies, the best one might be Predators, but now we have to say like the Alien versus Predator movies are a better bet than the Alien movie. Like Prometheus, dumb. And
Well,
that we were talking about young. We were talking about young casts. The oldest cast member might be 24.
Well, I didn't mind Predators there, T, because I actually own all three actually. So Predators, the one with Adrian Brody, that's not a bad concept, and it might explain a lot of why aliens would take you to another place.
That's the one I singled out. Yeah, that one's
The bad one.
Yeah, it wasn't
the
bad.
Bad one in that franchise is the Predator. That's the last one they made where the little autistic boy was.
No, that's not the last one anymore.
No,
that's not the last one anymore. And also,
oh yeah, I forgot Short Bus Predator.
Yeah, but that's hilarious because the Short Bus Predator, like their excuses, the real excuse is like, creative licensing means their predator needs to look a certain amount different, but their excuse is that he's like a caveman predator. So I'm like, so why does he have a spaceship if he's like a cave person? And like now I'm thinking like like Predator Pac-Led. It's like, it's like if he could say something, what would he say? Like, I want to be strong. It's like now he's a moron with a spaceship.
Yeah, he was the brother that wasn't quite right, so they just decided to fly him down there on autopilot, and hopefully something down there kills him.
Hopefully he doesn't come back. No, but the thing is, they claimed it. The writers claimed it was evolution. He's not as evolved as the Predators who come along 140 years later. So critical 300 years there for the Predator. They completely change, but they already have the technology.
For a Yautja. Yautja lives centuries and centuries, so
or thousands of years.
I don't know if the last one gave a fuck about their lore. The one with the Indians fighting the Predator. I don't know that they gave a fuck about the Predator lore. It made no sense. A lot of people liked it. It was a lot like Alien Romulus in the sense that it was a bad news sandwich. The middle of the movie's kind of okay. It's kind of okay. It's not great. Alien Romulus.
All young.
The
Alien is now all aged up a few decades. Yeah.
Now
like they got the cast. They got the cast mixed up. All the people who were supposed to be an Alien somehow found their way into Borderlands. Because I guarantee you, after that cast doesn't even know what Borderlands was.
No, and Kate Blanchett never looked oriented.
And you know what? I always thought when I watched Alien Nation, that series, I always thought like that was an extension of the V series before it.
It's actually an away mission. It's a time travel away mission by the ambassador from Star Trek Enterprise because he's the cop in that. The Vulcan ambassador from Star Trek Enterprise is the point of view cop in that one. The TV show, not the movie. The movie is James.
Definitely. Yeah.
The TV show was way better.
That TV show was, but yeah, well, the movie wasn't too bad, but that TV show was real good. It really was. It was real good. And it was basically the District 9 stole a lot from that like concept that they would just show up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brad Wolf does bring up a good point.
Was mad, but so many people praised it because it was only meh and not god awful. I think it was god awful.
It was god awful
too.
Here's the thing. We've seen so many worse Predator movies than that one, like the one right before it. And that was stolen from a Philip K. Dick book. And there's a Philip K. Dick story where they have all this technology, but like they've cured all mental illness. So they need someone to conceive of new tech. So what they do is they go back to the 1920s and kidnap like a savant, and they put him to work on like a miracle device. And because he's a savant, he picks up their technology that's 300 years in the future fairly quickly, and he starts making like his god machine, and it works. They were stealing that. They thought that he thought that he could understand, but the thing is, he didn't understand Philip K. Dick, and it was too brutal. Imagine bringing your special needs kid to that as a loving parent, just want to take your kid out to the movies, and it's like, now that movie just like twisting the knife. Shane Black's a scumbag for that movie.
Isn't that because of overstimuli, Teague? Like an overstimulus?
I don't know the symptoms. I know that making a terrible affliction that makes life much harder and more difficult for people into a superpower is disingenuous and preposterous magical bullshit that is Hollywood trying to make things better. And whenever Hollywood decides that they can make things better, it always makes them worse.
Yeah.
Or the world will end.
The worst
or the world will
freaking
end.
movie they could have possibly made for Predator.
Predator movie that Shane Black made was actually so completely bad that that's why the next one got some consideration. It was like, wow, I'm 5 minutes in and my brain isn't bleeding.
Yeah.
That was the problem with the Predator Shane Black one. Like, Germ, were you screaming into a pillow like I was? I mean, that movie fucking sucked. When they call him Asperger for like 17 straight minutes, like, it's so self-important.
Does it come close if I say I was pounding fist into an imaginary wall? Does that count?
I had to stop watching it at one point because I was so insulted by it.
It lost the thread of what Predator was about very quickly.
Yeah, it wasn't a Predator movie. It was a movie about a little autistic kid.
It was, it didn't want to be a Predator movie. It was like, I feel like what the fuck happened? They're like, Shane Black, you Me Too this poor woman. And he's like, what do you want? We want you to destroy Predator with an empowerment movie about people who have like who are charismatic, and we want you to go after them. And it's all right, I will do as you say. How about white people? Yes, we want the charismatic person to be white. I mean, it was just like, and like that bullying scene. Like, if I ever saw someone redeem a Zack Snyder scene, it's in that movie where he gets bullied. It redeems the bullying scene in Man of Steel.
I do have a genuine question. Tell me, was the Predator just a shitty response since Fox knew that they were being bought out by Disney, saying, you know what, fuck it, just make a bad Predator movie, and for our last movie, just do it. Who gives a damn?
Yeah, I'll be back. I gotta go round up a dog.
Okay. Somebody may have.
Just don't do a Haitian thing to it.
Yeah. Some poor some idiot may have gotten taken in when a producer didn't keep an eye on a director, and they just went to town and made a low effort Predator movie at some point. It's on the table for the Shane Black one. Like, I don't know what, it's inexplicably stupid. Germ and I both had the same reaction. I couldn't finish it. I was insulted by it, and I think it's insulting to people who have special needs children, or whatever the term of the day might be. Forgive me if I have been somewhat politically incorrect, but I think my intent here is clear that I have no malice. I'm saying that to go around and patronize people with that kind of nonsense, and to turn, like, that's like saying, like, you know, like, it's not exactly Daredevil where he's blind and there's like a reasonable explanation for why he can like somehow thread it together with something close to sonar, and he's more powerful in the rain, and there's some constraints on his power that are relatively logical. This didn't have any of that. It was just like, have intellectual handicap, therefore are able to use alien tech. And this just turns everything we've ever seen in sci-fi on its head, where it's like, by working and thinking all night, we've cracked the alien tech.
I do have a better idea. Why just have a language that studies in a very old language that's forgotten on Earth, or something that's obscure language-wise, and then the aliens pop up, then they see the alien language, saying, "Man, look, it's somewhat similar to this obscure language I'm studying." Even though I can barely understand it myself, maybe I can. And then that's the link between the Predator language or the Predator tech language and the ancient language that the linguist was studying, and then there's a link for humans to possibly understand the Predator language that way. I mean, it's a Deus Modica.
I wonder if they
actually did that. They actually had that worked into the first AVP movie.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if they. It makes you wonder if they hired that writer away, and the reason they didn't do any more is because they were writing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because we get that whole like cryptic alien writing thing comes up, and it's like very similar.
Yeah, but I would say that's the one thing that the VVP did. It actually added some lore, ancient human lore. I mean, either love it or hate it, but I did like that part where it connected to ancient history, where we may not understand an alien language, but maybe it has some connection to an ancient forgotten language on Earth, because they probably visited Earth in the past, and there was some interaction between ancient humans and the predators, and there was some language there, and then just forgotten or something happened, and then it was rediscovered again by some overly enthusiastic linguist, in other words.
That's called Lord of the Rings.
Which actually is a successful franchise.
Well, and it's how Rings of Power.
What the fuck are you talking about? Actually, The Hobbit kind of starts damaging that. That was not. Here's the thing, though. The Simon Tolkien or whoever it was not too cool. Peter Jackson was exceeding his intellectual license a little bit. He used other stuff to fill in the dialogue because he couldn't write Tolkien. So his decision was to harvest dialogue from other Tolkien stories and retask it into the story so it would still be Tolkien's dialogue. And when he admitted that, they used that against him and forced him to make a Hobbit trilogy. And he tries everything he can not to make that movie, and it shows. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, well, he did pay some homage to J.R.R. Tolkien, so, you know.
It's not disrespectful.
He did what he could.
Didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be there. He asked for his own Middle Earth movie that would have been fine. He does it anyway. He gets his Legolas story.
Tell me, did he want to make a trilogy or just one movie and the studio made him do 3 movies?
They wanted.
I think it was always planned to be a trilogy, but the thing is, the source novel's far too short. No, it wasn't.
The Hobbit
Be Yourself Adventures is correct, and also that the Germ. Would you say that the frame rate experiment fucked up things too? Because that was one ask too many. It's like, I'm a little motion sick and I don't like this movie, right?
I don't remember a lot from The Hobbit. I walked out of, I believe, 2 of those.
I walked out of the second one too. Yeah, I got through the first one. I walked out of the second one. It was terrible. The thing is, in the first one, for a little while, where the first director's doing it, it's kind of almost going to find its way, and it goes off the rails after the Trolls. But the thing about that first movie is that it's the only one that has any charm of the 3. But it's shot at an accelerated frame rate, and it makes it very fluidic and weird and unnatural, even though it should be more natural because we're capturing more.
Well, most people think if we just... most people think that if we had the standalone Lord of the Rings trilogy, that should have been enough.
Love that comment. I love that comment. Yes, when they send us their halflings these days, they're not sending us their bests. They're sending us Harfoots. They're sending us stores. What we need is a wall around the Shire to protect the eastern part of the kingdom.
Yeah.
I said it first. Also, if you watch Rings of Power, I'm a big fan of Al Farazan because he, of course, is an istophobe who is very much doesn't like ladies either. He's a not that he digs dudes. I'm saying like he's mean to the ladies, and he's an istophobe. So this is just the perfect Tolkien-esque character. Obviously, just it's not a Star Trek Discovery character at all.
As I recall, The Hobbit's the shortest of the books.
By a lot.
Yeah. It's like 300 pages, 400 pages.
Yeah,
Like
the Return of the King might be shorter because most of that book is like a big chunk of that book is appendices. But I think there's still a good 280 to 320 pages in that one too. Fellowship might be the longest, but like Tolkien also like the letters between him and his editors are insane. It's like we would like it if instead of having a really long backstory, your story simply started with the beginning of the story. And he's like, fuck you, I'll sell it to someone else. And they're like, okay. And they're like, we would like it instead of if your movie being 15 years late, your book being 15 years late, you had it on time. He's like, fuck you, I'll sell it to someone else. They're like, okay, we'll take it when you get it. And that was just his whole attitude. My favorite Tolkien comment was, you spelled dwarves in a way that's wrong and confusing. And he said, fuck you, I wrote the dictionary. I'll tell you how to spell it. Like, I'm the editor of the dictionary, and I don't think that you have any right to tell me how to spell anything. Fuck you.
I would say
Larry's
that
asking us thoughts on Harry Potter.
I love the first movie.
I like them all.
Here's the thing with the movie.
I gave up on the fourth movie. I believe it was.
I don't mind. I'd say this though. What an unlikely hero. In the 90s, like we would have said she's going a bit too far in a few places. She has not changed, and without anything changing, she is now at the center point of this weird culture war where a bunch of people say that they want to take her ideas and her lore away from her, and she's very much alive. It's not like L. Frank Baum here. So the last person I expected to be a Flashpoint was her. But it just goes to show, if you're 99% woke, you're 0% woke because they only accept total adherence to their bullshit.
I guess for the Harry Potter movies, I think I saw them once or twice, and then I forgot most of them. They're a collective blur in my memory. They are.
Well, I gotta say, I love the books. You know, I read each book quite a few times there. The first, it kind of goes in order. The first movie follows the books very closely. Then after that, they just start diverting away from the source material.
And Suzanne,
the books are behind. The books are behind the movies. That's the problem. They're not waiting on our book.
Well, because Suzanne told me the same thing, Gorilla. Yeah, no,
it's
she
just
told
the
me the
last
same
one.
thing. She waited for books to come out before even the movies came. So
I thought they overran.
It was only the Deathly Hollow that did that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, the Deathly Hallows came out before the movie.
Yeah, it did.
How about these
pretty
fantastic
close, so.
beasts?
The thing I'm shocked about.
I would assume that she's writing with a screenwriter at the point where she cranks out those last couple of books. Like the screenwriting people are helping her.
Well, the Cursed Child, a lot of people say that's not canon and all that, but like it got her approval, but it wasn't written by her.
Uh-huh. But we own the first 3 Fantastic Beasts films too, which is supposed to be like prequels, right? But she stopped after the 3rd one. Because she was one of the executive writers of that, so I just didn't understand it.
The movies
that's
failed.
Because they pulled it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp would have saved that movie.
Very true.
Johnny Depp would have saved it.
Yeah, and I gotta say, from what I hear, those movies actually ruined the backstory of the Harry Potter novels originally. They ruined them because in the novels, were all the characters somewhat straight? In their certain taste, in other words.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, was Gandalf straight in the original backstory, or was he?
Wrong franchise. Wrong franchise. Gandalf was Lord of the Rings.
Well, Dumbledore and Gandalf,
it is a fair mistake because they did do that change in the movie after the one guy died.
Yeah. Well, no, but here's the thing: they never mentioned it once. His sexuality in that because it's never part of his story. It's just something that was written on the backstory and all that. The only thing the closest thing that they could have maybe said that he was gay in the books and all that is that he was very good friends with what's his name
Dumbledore.
or something?
No.
I'm sorry, Youngledore. He's younger.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the other, not Voldemort, but the previous evil wizard, Grimwald.
Grimwald, yeah.
Yeah,
Played by Johnny Depp, by the way.
It's something you can kind of classified as a bromance, but it's never explicitly stated, and they never made it like, oh, they were making out or nothing. They just said they are always together, and you could not separate them. That's the closest you'll get to anything in the original books.
Well, it was, you know what, Gorilla, originally it was supposed to be loosely based on not necessarily having that early relationship, that bro relationship they had. It was supposed to be the ties of their families, not just the two of them. And if they had explored maybe the family sides of it from their perspectives, it might have been a little bit more effective. But they didn't. They went from basically Grimwald saying to Dumbledore, "Hey, you owe me for this. Oh, you owe me for this." But they never involved their families in it, and the families should have been more involved. That would have been more acceptable. So,
yeah.
Hey, I'm surprised too, Kronos. I didn't know anyone actually read those.
Yeah, it's Scurvy. There's 8 books, or there's 8 movies, and then the Fantastic Beasts, and we're gonna find them. There's 3 movies. And Cursed Child, it wasn't written by her, but she did give it approval and did put some notes in.
All right. Well, the reason why I'm asking this because, well, I'm gonna get flack for this, but I haven't read the Harry Potter books.
Right, Brad.
I haven't.
Yeah, they're not missing a lot. They are really overblown.
Hey, there's audiobooks on YouTube for you.
If you're a kid, they're good, I guess.
I don't know. I've always enjoyed them. I've always
7,
enjoyed them.
8.
Yeah,
they're good for kids, and they're more relatable than the Narnia books, which have now passed into another era. They're better. The Narnia stories are better, but they were written in like 1920.
Yeah. I don't know. I still enjoy Harry Potter to this day, but
Thanks for stopping by.
Well, of course, all those books were coming out when I was. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good night. But I grew up on. They were coming out as I was growing up too, so that probably makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, well, I just say this. The reason why I'm asking if any of this identity stuff was in the books, because I haven't read the books, so I'm like, were any of these political bullshit in the original Harry Potter books and for backstories, or was just the Beautiful Beast trilogy that did all that shit?
That's your company thinking. That's not J.K. Rowling. That's when she was directly asked, she did confirm it, but it's like that's just because she was directly asked it. She just added it, but she did not make it part of their backstory at all. It was just something people were assuming and throwing in there, kind of force her to answer the question. We would have never known if she wasn't directly asked in an interview.
The way she handled most of those interviews too was she'd just smile and said, give a generalization. Oh, that's up to you to decide.
I'm much
make
more
it up in your own head.
I'm much more interested.
She dismissed it off as just fans letting them have their own headcanon
or ships.
No.
I'm much more interested in what she said about how wizards poop.
And hello, Boomer.
Hey,
go ahead, Gorilla.
Hey,
say that.
Hello.
Yeah, I like when you do that, Gorilla. You're the only one that can pull that off.
And Brad Wolf read the Harry Potter series, loved them. Read Cursed Child script and was just rage reading at some point.
Rage reading.
Sounds like it's the timeless children of Harry Potter, huh?
It's the discovery of Harry Potter.
Oh God. Even more, almost just as bad.
Yeah, prequels never usually, even in books, they never usually work out. Not usually.
I think it might have been a saturation thing. We see Enterprise work. but that's before any other prequels. So that might be one of the very first ones, aside from the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, Kronos. Headcannons. Pew, pew. Yeah.
Playing Battlefront 2 right now.
Oh, nice.
The newer one or the good one?
You mean there's a difference? I never knew there was a difference between the two.
Huge difference.
Huge difference.
The good one didn't have such a crap storyline.
Right.
It was more about the just, here's your characters, have a battle royale.
He says he's playing the 2017 version there.
Oh, shit.
Oh. I guess that's okay.
Oh, I guess that's the newer one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the newer one.
Oh, crap. Okay.
I was playing the old. I got the old one on my Xbox there. If I can get it freaking working.
And you should film yourself playing it. You could do some gaming set up a gaming channel for yourself, Gorilla.
Nah.
I gotta say for the original Star Wars Battlefront 2005 2 game, that actually had a good story to it. The story campaign it did.
Yeah.
Gavanker chick?
Gavanker chick? Yeah, I don't know who's that. But anyway, gentlemen, it's yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, I'm going to go and represent our sister, Raquel SSG 2211. She's doing an interview with Netters Network and Mr. Troy Pacelli of Last Call. But I will send all our best to her, and because she was very nervous, and she was talking to me privately about that last night. I said, "Don't be nervous. I've done the interview with Miss Netter. She's very gracious, very accommodating, and I hope she does well tonight. I know she will." So
they just ask that you talk. They got some guys that's like you got a fish for them fish for them to talk. It's like
right. Yeah. All right. Well, take care, everyone. Don't forget. Thank you. No, just want to remind you we moved up the Star Trek 4 review to Saturday evening, right around 9 p.m. Eastern. So it's already set up. So if anyone wants to come by, you'll be more than welcome to see us. So take care, everyone. We'll see you.
I don't know what time I'm getting home on Saturday.
Oh, no worries there, Gorilla.
That's why I'm not doing
we'll be
DS9.
up for a little while.
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing
worries.
DS9.
Yeah, no problem. All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Alrighty.
And I put in the private chat a question for both you, Germ, and Gorilla to ask if you want to give your response in the private chat or give it out in public for you guys' response.
Oh yeah, I guess it's only like 10 minutes away.
No, I said it for 9:15, but I should probably head over there.
Yeah, we'll start wrapping up here in a minute.
Yeah. Be like a kid on prom night and wrap it up.
Yeah. And have a good night, Brad Wolf.
Good night. Well, if we're going to start wrapping it up, then who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Sistan.
All right. To all your panelists and chatters or viewers that don't know me or know me already, I'm Sci-Fi Sistan. I usually cover different sci-fi TV shows or movies. I do universe crossover ideas on my channel. I do other things. Just type in my subtitle underneath my avatar. You should get my YouTube channel that way to see what I make. I do my Transformers Prime TV show watch parties on Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific time, but it's usually on Flex with Gorillas with Walton streams. And I try to do my live streams on Saturdays between 2 and 4 Pacific time. It's nice to have Resolute Germ on my stream along with Gorilla and Admiralty if they have the time for it. I do try to upload a new video every week to keep YouTube occupied and my fans entertained. And before I turn over, Germ, just before I go, I'm only doing a half a day overtime on this Saturday. So if you do have time to come on the stream, or if I don't see, I'm just letting you know that if you do come on, I'm only doing half a day. I'm not a full day in case you think I won't be able to do a live stream on Saturday. I won't be able to do it this Saturday.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't know yet if I'm actually working or not.
All right. Beyond that, I'll let you turn over to the next panelist.
Welcome, Penny. Yeah, right here at the end. But better late than never.
Who's next?
Teague, go ahead.
You still there, Teague?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I am. Hey, everybody. It's me, your buddy, Admiral Teague. It's good to see you. Celebrating a 1,930 subs. Good to see. Hey, Lemon Pie. Good to see you. Hi, Kronos. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, it would be great if you did. Thanks. Check out my video on Batman or one of my uploads about Star Trek, and we live stream on Saturdays.
All right.
And thank you, Suzanne.
Gorilla, go for it.
As for me, in about 15 or about 25 minutes, we got a cringe stock going. This is gonna be the last Border Town, whether or not we finish it up or not. But we're gonna be watching Border Town, and then tomorrow we should have the Waltons, season 3 episode, whatever it's called, the Chivalry. So we'll be watching that one, or not watching, reviewing that one. We will not have anything on Saturday. No DS9, no nothing. I might do an early morning music upload if I can come up with some kind of song type or song. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to put songs into words, but this new thing I found is really helped with be able to come up with song concepts. So, but anyhow, then Sunday, we are watching the Pride of the Yankees, and I'm hoping it's the old version of Pride, not the new version. Yeah. Then on Tuesday, we'll have a Cigar Lounge. Then next Wednesday, next Wednesday should be finally getting back to Freaks and Geeks after a couple weeks there being absent from that one. Well, yesterday was a special day, so I wanted to honor that. So
yeah, and there's a few geeks in it and a few freaks on the panel right now, but which is which?
Yeah, no, but I'll
upload that song. About that.
Yeah, I'll upload that song about LDG here after a while.
And there were people asking for that interview link on Netters Network. We got that posted in both Gorilla's and my chat right now. So if you want to head over there for Raquel's interview, there's the link for you. And thanks guys for being here. For this channel, we'll be back on Saturday morning. The poll for our cartoon is still live. I'd say it's about 60-40 that actually able to do it. If I have to cancel, the poll will just roll over to next week. Tuesday night, we'll have 2 episodes of Andromeda. And then we'll be back here next Thursday for another Nerd Night panel. And hopefully after that, I should have a Transformers 1 review up next Friday sometime. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Go raid either Netters Network or Gorilla for the Crunch Stock. Take care. See you next time.
Bye, guys.